右手邊，咁就係我哋港島總區高級警司行動吳樂進先生。咁啊，吳 Sir 嘅右手邊，咁就係我哋行動部嘅高級警司汪威信先生。咁翻過嚟啊，謝 Sir 嘅左手邊，咁就係警察公共關係科高級警司江永祥先生。咁而阿江 Sir 嘅左手邊呢，咁就係有組織罪案及三合會調查科高級警司李桂華先生。咁稍後幾位講者呢會先後發言嘅，咁之後有個發問時間。咁麻煩想發問嘅傳媒代表，請你舉手，講出你自己嚟自邊個傳媒嘅。咁啊，最多發問3題。咁啊，事不宜遲啦，我將個時間交俾謝 Sir。
各位好，今日嘅記者會呢，我哋會講解下過去幾日呢喺港九各區一啲暴力示威嘅情況，同埋嚟緊警方嘅一啲行動。另外，大家剛才呢都影咗一啲之前未見過嘅一啲爆炸品，同埋我哋剛剛呢其實今日呢都檢獲咗幾支槍，我哋一陣呢都會詳細講解。我哋邀請到呢消防同事呢講解下關於呢屯門呢做嘅一啲不同嘅行動。咁開始之前呢，我哋會準備咗一段片，咁概括講翻嗰啲嘅暴力嘅行為。
spotted in Tuen Mun. First, I will show you some video clippings.
有人搬出雪糕筒同埋圍欄等堵路。
大約11點半，多個示威者闖入一家茶餐廳，大肆破壞。
黑衫嘅人拆路邊鐵欄堵路，
路上亦都再起火。
亞皆老街連德道交界有港鐵站嘅出入口遭到縱火，又有黑衣黃背脊人喺路上燒雜物。
彌敦道附近嘅上海街同埋新填地街等等堆放咗雜物喺路面。一段廣東道多個街口，地上面亦都佈滿咗撬起嘅磚。
咁啊，我一陣我呢個講稿嘅時候咧，電視熒光幕咧都會有一啲相片
As I go on, I will have
咁
photos on the monitor to assist my explanation. On the 20th of October, that is the past Monday, different districts in Tuen Mun had residents who reportedly smelled some unknown gas, and the scope extended from the north of Tuen Mun, Leung King Estate to Tuen Mun Pier, which was a few kilometers away, covering nearly the half of Tuen Mun. People with ulterior motive claimed that the odor came from Tai Hing Operational Base of the police, and they said that the police were testing tear gas there. Although within a few hours, the police clarified that we had not used the tear gas there. However, netizens insisted that the odor came from our operational base and then surrounded the police station that evening. And that on Monday evening, members of the public congregated on the pavement of Leung Wan Street, saying their dissatisfaction with the odor, but they verbally assaulted the police. They put miscellaneous items onto the road to form roadblocks, and they set fire there. On the other hand, and the batch of people were vandalizing Hong Kong-style cafe in Blossom Garden. First, they used hard objects of Venice Garden. They used hard objects and bricks to break their glass, and they hurled petrol bombs, causing heavy smoke, threatening the lives of residents living on the upper stories. Won't this fume be hazardous to people? And then on the second evening, they surrounded the base. They removed railings and set up roadblocks, and they damaged the Hong Kong-style cafe again, the same cafe, because one evening back, they already broke the glass windows, and very easily the rioters went into the cafe to cause vandalism. What has this cafe got to do with the strange odor? After repeated warnings to no avail, we surrounded these rioters and arrested 61 persons in total. All right, this is really making up things, fabricating things, and then the rioters were only vandalizing with violence to vent their feelings, and thirdly, they were vandalizing innocent shops at will. And then yesterday, there were violent activities in both Mong Kok and Central. Following their usual script, they used the banner of celebration of Halloween, and first they blocked roads, they set fire, and then they beat up innocent citizens. Around 7 p.m. at Lan Kwai Fong, it was already crowded last night, and so the police introduced crowd control and would not allow any more people to go into the area. As a result, many people congregated at the intersection of Douglas Street and Stanley Street and Queen's Road Central. Some of them threw miscellaneous items at the police and yelled, and as a result, the police announced that they were taking part in an unauthorized assembly and started to disperse the crowd. The demonstrators then stayed at different places of Central, and eventually we had to use tear gas to disperse the demonstrators. As for in Mong Kok, about 7 p.m. last night, the people who were outside Mong Kok police station started to occupy roads at the intersection of Nathan Road and Prince Road West, and they set up road barricades, and they committed arson, and they damaged traffic signs and MTR exits, and they also would not allow fire engines to go through. A little bit later, FSD colleague will elaborate. And then we started to use tear gas to disperse them. And then after midnight, they started to attack innocent civilians.
One of these incidents happened at the junction of Nathan Road and Argyle Street in Mong Kok. Some black-clad rioters surrounded a man, struck him with a long umbrella, and kicked him and hit him badly. And then that man became unconscious, and then somebody used a suspected stun gun to attack him. You can see that the rioters are really cruel in mentality and in action, and this is quite indescribable. According to Cap 238 of the laws of Hong Kong, Firearms and Ammunition Ordinance, anyone who possesses a stun gun without a license, once convicted, will be fined at most $100,000 and also 14 years in prison. And also somebody was driving through, but then this car was also vandalized, and Also, the driver was badly hurt. Do you want to see this repeated time and again? And I'd like to say that within the Mong Kok station, we saw a car outside at Lai Chi Kok flyover, and we found that it unloaded certain things, and we found that they were compressed gas fuel, or you can see that they are hot pot gas cans, and these were in aluminum foil containers. At that time, they were not lighted, but then if they should explode, then they would not only hurt police officers, but other people nearby would also have their lives threatened. This is also the first time the police have discovered compressed gas fuel. Next, I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Kong to give you the figures, and also he will make some clarifications. From Monday to yesterday, we arrested a total of 249 people, including 175 male and 75 female, aged 13 to 61. And the offences are illegal assembly, possession of offensive weapon, possession of articles fit for unlawful use, criminal damage, attacking a police officer, and also using face covering during an unauthorized assembly. And I'd like to talk about the case about the stun gun. We have always been aware that somebody was peddling contraband ammunition and weapons online, including stun guns and also extendable batons. And the Kowloon West Criminal Crime Wing was investigating, and we covered it as a buyer, and we successfully bought 20 extendable batons and 10 stun guns from him, and we arrested this man. I'd like to say that extendable batons is termed a contraband or prohibited weapon under the law. If there is a conviction, the highest penalty is 3 years in prison and also a fine of $100,000. As Mr. Chair was saying, that if you possess a stun gun, once you are convicted, you can be fined $100,000 and imprisonment of 14 years. And this is being followed up by the West Kowloon Crime Wing. And also, I'd like to talk about a court case. And a man was suspected to spray paint some road signs on 16th of October. And he was prosecuted for criminal damage, and he was taken to court this morning in Kwun Tong Magistracy. And about the use of ammunition, on Monday we used 19 CS grenade and CS round and 1 rubber bullet. On Tuesday, we did not use any ammunition. On Wednesday, we used 4 rubber bullets, 1 super sock, and 1 sponge grenade. And yesterday, on the 31st of October, Thursday, we used 125 tear gas rounds, 28 rubber bullets, 4 super sock, and 4 sponge grenade. In the past few days, 2 police officers were hurt during operation. Last night, 1 police officer was at the junction of Prince Edward Road and Tung Choi Street in Mong Kok. He intercepted a rioter, but he was attacked by that rioter, and he had a rash and swelling on his chest, and he was sent to hospital. And then also last night, a police officer was in Shanghai Street in Mong Kok, and he was pushed to the ground by a rioter when he was trying to arrest the rioter, and his waist, his arm, and also his leg were scratched, and he was sent to hospital as well. Now I'd like to make a few clarifications. First of all, we saw that at the Hong Kong Design Institute on Wednesday, again, there was widespread vandalism. I'd like to clarify that actually we received a report which should have come from the school, so we went on site. But then when we were on site, we could not find the one making the report. So reluctantly, we left. In this incident, we'd like to point out that it is clear that somebody was maliciously destroying facilities at school. But then it is unfortunate that the relevant authorities did not want to provide assistance to the police, and this is in a way condoning and conniving with violence. I could see that somebody was hoisting the flag of freedom and democracy, but then they lightly talked about their own violence. And then about 2 days ago, there was a criminal damage case on the rails of light rail. The Hong Kong MTR company reported a case to us that on the 25th and also on the 30th of October, their engineering staff found that there were clear-cut damage at their Jinsa station and Tuen Mun station. They thought that such cuts were not done by natural wear and tear, and they did not rule out the possibility that there was malicious damage done by an electric saw. So they reported the case to us, and this is listed as a criminal damage case. In the first case, that is the one on the 25th of October, MTR had to replace that section of the track. And I'd like to point out that had it not been for the engineering staff of MTR who were alert and who discovered the relevant damage in time, a serious train incident might take place, and it would lead to injuries and even fatalities. So the rioters pay no regard to people's safety. And also we found that on the internet somebody smeared us saying that we had no reason, but we went into some private premises to make arrests. I'd like to do some clarification here. On the 30th of October, the police wanted to round up some rioters in Tuen Mun area, but then they dispersed in different directions. We saw that some of them ran into Yetsun house of Kin Sang Estate. So we exercised our power under Section 50 of Cap 238 of the laws of Hong Kong, the police force ordinance, and we went into the lobby of that building to make arrests, and we intercepted dozens of people there. After investigation, we found that some of them were residents of the building, so we allowed them to go. We did not arrest them. But then among those dozens intercepted, we confirmed that 33 people, including 24 males, 9 females, who were not residents of the building. We arrested them on the offense of illegal assembly. We reiterate that rioters have fled into these lobbies of buildings, and according to our powers in the police force ordinance, we had the authority to go in to arrest them because we saw that they committed offenses outside that building. And I believe Hong Kong residents wouldn't like to see residents or rioters going into your building using it as a refuge. I'd like to remind you that if you obstruct police officers going into any premise to make arrests, well, you are not only condoning and conniving with violence, you may actually be guilty of obstructing police officers in the discharge of their duties, and you may be arrested, and then we will enforce the law absolutely.
Now I hand